United hit rock bottom. Liverpool yet to register a win. What's going on?
We find out in the plot Malaysia.
Hello, welcome to the plot Malaysia. This is our second episode of the season. This is the show for the fans.
By the fans.
Woohoo! Woohoo! Oh, yo,
Hey,
well.
let me correct ourselves here. We shouldn't be woohooing in this situation.
Yeah, we shouldn't. Both
Uh,
of us. Yeah, we shouldn't. We shouldn't.
Especially you, but Eugene. Firstly, thanks for joining us. But yeah,
Hi,
nothing to
Eugene.
woohoo about for the both of us. Great.
Yep.
Great start to the Premier League season as a whole. Really good matches. Some very
Yep.
exciting moments, big goals as well. But nothing great for us, Laram.
No, I wouldn't say so much on your side.
Yeah, I take a
you
little
know,
bit of satisfaction in the fact that
yeah.
at least there's one team that's a lot worse off than us right now. So that gives
Well,
me a lot of satisfaction. I've got to be honest, man.
well. What can I say? I'm utterly speechless. I'm flabbergasted. But yeah, let's
I'm
go
surprised you
on.
wanted to come on the show today, Ram.
Yeah, you see, that's the thing, right? After watching Liverpool's game yesterday, I said, yeah, I don't mind being on the show now. I'm like, okay, fair enough.
All right. But what? There's only one place to start. We'll start
Yeah,
where we're meant to start.
okay. Yeah, get this out of the
Let's
way quickly, man. Yeah,
let's
yeah.
let's 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 get this rolling, Ram. So
Mm.
I mean, I expected this to be a tough game. Actually, surprisingly, some may be surprised, some not, but I expected Brentford to win this easily even before the game kicked off. Looking at how United's condition was away, Brentford not an easy ground. So, but
Yeah.
even then, I never expected them to be 4-0 up within 30 or 35 minutes. And the nature of the goals, man. Oh
Yeah.
my God, it was shocking to say the very least.
Well, what can
Um,
I say? Maguire is the best fridge on earth.
you can not just the thing with that game is you can't just hit it at Maguire.
Yeah, yeah,
It was
I know. Yeah.
Maguire. It was David De Gea.
Oh
What was
yes.
he doing on the pitch? It was Luke Shaw. It was Fernandez. It was Rashford. It was the whole team basically. It was Ten Hag to a large degree as well with the team selection. So, listen, without further ado, give me your thoughts first, Ram. How did the game pan out? What do you think about the game? Where do you think United messed up? And what does the future hold for this club, man?
I think United look like the first 10, 15 minutes they can play good football, but that's it. It looked like that. That it could start the first 10 minutes, it looked promising, and then after that, everything just went downhill. I mean, I can still forgive De Gea for the goal, the first goal that went in. Sometimes schoolboy errors happen. I can still forgive him for that, but continuous, ridiculous passes where he could have gone long, he went short, and it cost us the
But that, but
game.
that, but that going short is because of Ten Hag, right? Ten Hag wants them to play that way. Wants his
Yeah,
core
but if
group to
you're
play
if
that way.
you're on the field, you can see the conditions. You know what it's going to be like. You sometimes you got to take a decision on your own hands. You got no one is going to wrong you for kicking a proper goal kick. But at that point of time, I saw that he was not having that sense. He was more nervous. He looked nervous. He looked like he wasn't enjoying himself. So he let the team down. Maguire, as you can see, he was absolutely ridiculous. I have no words to describe how bad he was. In midfield, Bruno Fernandes, you expected him to actually do well, after the first game, but no, still the same. The only player that probably had a had a goal sight was Ronaldo, who had a couple of shots on goal.
What's happening with him, man? What's happening with him?
I don't know. Seriously, he doesn't want to play for the club. He can leave. I don't really care right now. Tyrell Malacia, when he came on, yeah, he was good. She showed some good signs that Luke Shaw is going to have serious competition on the left hand side, and I don't know, Harry. Honestly speaking, I have no
So,
words
so
to describe what.
two things stood out for me, right? One is, and I
Yeah.
want your thoughts on this, Ram, as well, because I know you have been ranting and you're probably tired of it, lah. I mean, Right
It's come
now,
to a point. It's come to a point. It's become
you don't
second
really
nature to
care.
me
You
already.
don't really
Yeah,
care, is
yeah,
it? Do you?
yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
so listen, I mean, two things stood out for me. One was how brittle your team is. Those players are. I'm sorry, you can't just keep blaming the manager, the owners,
no,
everything.
no,
These players are some of the most brittle characters I've ever seen, man, in my
yeah,
life, to be honest. Forget
yeah,
in football profession, in any profession. They, I mean, they, like you said, they started okay, and then what happens? They concede a goal. It happens every game, man. The moment they concede a goal, their heads drop. They start
yeah,
fighting amongst each other. They don't seem to be able to come back, and they just capitulate. They basically collapse, and they let
yeah,
two, three, four goals in. They just collapse, man. They don't fight for. They're not a team. They don't fight for each other. They don't back each other up. Bruno Fernandes. People talk a lot about him, good player and all. I mean, he just throws his hands up in the air half the time, complaining about
yeah,
everything else, not willing to. For me, it's a team. It's a dysfunctional team, man. And Eric Ten Hag has taken on a job that
yeah.
could ruin his career and his reputation.
Yep.
Uh, and
And
I think that's why many players will not want to join this team because the dressing room is a mess. And I mean, it could ruin their career, man. I mean, Jadon Sancho's career looks like it's gone. Donny van de Beek is finished. He was one of the stars in
but
Ajax.
Hurry, how many times Jadon Sancho has started matches? He has started lots of matches, and he has played well in some games. He has disappointed in a lot of games. So I think Jadon Sancho needs to wake up, and realize that he's in the starting lineup. He needs to actually perform, because Eric Ten Hag has every right to take him out of the first 11 if he doesn't perform well in the next upcoming games.
Yep.
And who do we have next? Oh shit. Anyway, but but yeah, you know what I'm saying. Rashford lost confidence. He doesn't deserve to be on the pitch, 100%. I would give, like I said, how many times have I said this? Alejandro Garnacho a chance. I would like to give Ilanga a chance to start. Okay, I will remove Fred and McTominay completely. I want to put Van der Beek on. I want to put Martinez in the center of central midfield, defensive central midfield,
That's
and I
another
want,
one I was going to point out.
yeah,
Lisandro Martinez, dude.
yeah,
He's 5'9". He shouldn't be playing centre back in the Premier League, dude. I'm sorry, man. You can't play.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
You know,
You said it. Yeah, yeah,
and this is going to be related to a game we're going to speak about shortly, guys, which involved Liverpool actually. Player like Lisandro Martinez, they called him the butcher in Holland and
Ajax.
Ajax Amsterdam and all that. Butcher, Argentinian butcher, or whatever they call him. Hard, apparently. The Premier League is a different ball game. It's a
Yeah,
different physical ball game. He's 5'9" centre back. He's going to struggle. And to show you what I mean, Darwin Nunez is 6'2".
yeah,
He's big, man. He's built. He's built like a rock. He's big. And Joachim Anderson roughed him up yesterday. He just pushed
yeah,
him around, roughed him up to such an extent. This guy was not used to it. He lashed out at him and he headbutted him in
yeah,
retaliation. And Anderson got what he wanted, a sending off
yeah.
for Darwin Nunez, right? So the Premier League is not the Dutch league. It's not the Portuguese league. You got to get used to it. You got to learn
Yeah,
very
it's not.
quickly.
It's not for the faint-hearted, right? I mean, like they
You got
say,
to
it's not
learn
for the
quickly. And
faint-hearted.
in
Yeah,
a way, I think it's probably one of the best things that could happen to Darwin Nunez to happen in that game rather than a big game happen early in the season. He now learned his lesson the hard way. That you
yeah.
can't let these guys get under your skin. You got to toughen up and deal with it. This is the Premier League, right? And I think Lisandro Martinez, same way, man. I don't think he's cut for the Premier League until he
Okay,
comes.
but how many?
He's not cut for the Premier League, number one, because I think his size is not suited for the Premier League as a central defender. He can play as a left back. He can play in central midfield as a defensive midfielder because I think he's got good ball playing skills. But I mean, it's not the Dutch league, is it? Ask Donny
But
van de Beek.
yeah, I mean, I know, you're absolutely right. But this is what I'm talking about. You have the new players now. You have got 3 players who have just, been newly recruited. Use them correctly, and I think they deserve to have a chance in the first team, regardless whether Martinez is playing in central of defense or as a defensive midfield. They deserve a chance to try. What you want to take Martinez out and just keep Fred and McTominay in central of midfield? Doesn't make sense. Try. This is the time to take that risk because nothing has been working so far for United. Whatever Eric Ten Hag has tried to put out on the field, nothing has worked out. Hi Simba, thank you for continuously supporting us. But yeah, like what I was saying, it's insane. I've become so immune to watching United lose that Even sometimes I'm laughing, when I see a goal go in from the
No,
opposition player.
I just think, I mean, like I said, I think it's rock bottom. We said that last season, the rock bottom. We said that at Brighton, but it seems like you guys dig a deeper hole. So, but I mean, next up for you guys is an easy game. It's Liverpool, who is not in form as well. So, I
don't
mean, very quickly
don't say
before
that.
before we talk about Brentford, very quickly. I mean, we've got to give Brentford credit.
Yeah, yeah,
So let's talk a
absolutely.
little bit about them. They were outstanding. I thought they got the game plan to perfection. They tried to rough up and bully up Lisandro Martinez. They targeted him with long balls to Ivan Toney and Umbuemo.
More and more, yeah.
Yeah, and then what they did after that was in midfield, they strangled the midfield. They pressed you guys there. You kept losing the ball, and every time the ball went back to your defenders and your goalkeeper, they pressed really high because they
Yep,
knew Ten Hag has got the team trying to play out from the back, and then they kept
yep.
winning the ball back and scoring some easy goals. Right? I thought the fourth goal was brilliant, as amateurish as it was from United. I mean, from Brentford point of view, it was brilliant. It was a counter attack, one ball to I think it was Ivan Toney, and then the cross
Yeah, the
to
true pass
Mbeumo.
he made was
Yeah,
amazing. Yeah.
one of the fastest counter attacks. It was brilliant. It was done to perfection. So,
But
I mean,
Harry, those were the kind of counter attacks that United used to create. That I was seeing like a mirror image at some point in time last season. There were times where they were playing like that, but this time they just lost all confidence. It's I don't know. Yeah, go on.
uh, yeah, I mean, one of those, like, and but you got to give Brentford, like I said, a lot of credit. I thought they approached the game perfectly. I mean, like I said, like the reason why you guys were doing well on the counter is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer got you playing a counter attacking style, basically defending
Yeah,
and then counter attacking. But you can't win the league. You can't really qualify for the top four, in my opinion, playing that way. You got to dominate, and a lot of teams will then. What they were doing later, once a lot of teams figured that out, was they were just sitting back against United, didn't allow them to counter, which means you start having the ball and then you can't do much with it. So I think, and I still think Ten Hag is a good manager, but my word, he's got one hell of a job, man. That club is a toxic club, is on the decline. I heard you guys are going to protest this weekend again. So I mean,
it
I
might
don't
be
know
an
what's
empty
going on.
stadium. It might be an empty stadium in Old Trafford. So I think.
I sure hope it's an empty stadium because we need whatever we can get, like, any
But
advantage
to
we
be
can get.
honest, the fans, I don't think they care much about what's going to happen, the result, because they are more interested in getting the Glazers out. So I don't think so. The fans are too concerned about what's going to happen on the pitch. I think
Let's
as a fan myself, Harry, I'll be honest, I am definitely very nervous going into this game because we have seen in last season 2 games we were trashed, and now going into the next game is Liverpool. Liverpool are scoring goals. It's not that they're not scoring goals; they can score goals. They're just not winning games. And it's not that Liverpool is playing badly. They're playing all right. It's just that they're not getting the luck at the final third. So all in all, I don't see United carving up anything special. But if they can they can just resist and perhaps secure a point, I would be very, very happy. But I know deep down it's very unlikely. So
Before,
yeah.
well, anyway, before we move on to the next game that we're going to cover and review, quick one. Let me just get this quickly from you, man. We'll talk about this later in the week, I'm sure, again. But United, Liverpool, who would you pick is in your starting lineup? Give us a quick starting lineup, super
Okay,
quick.
sure. David De Gea, no choice. Okay. Then you've got Tyrone Malacia on the left
Hmm?
hand side. I would put Varane. Okay.
Hmm?
I would put Lindelof. Okay.
Is
I
he
would
injured or
definitely
is
put.
he okay, Lindelof?
It seems like he's okay, but if he's not okay, I would still stick with Martinez then, because Martinez Varane's fine. I would then put Aaron Wan Bissaka because I
Yep.
am totally pissed off with Dalot at the moment.
Hmm?
Okay. I would then go with Van de Beek.
Hmm?
Okay, right in the middle. I would go with Anthony Elanga on the right.
Hmm?
Okay, I would go with Garnacho on the left.
Hmm?
Okay, I would put Bruno in the center
Hmm?
with Ericsson.
Hmm?
Okay, and I will start and I'll put Ronaldo up front.
Okay, interesting, man. Interesting side. You're going. That's a very attacking team, by the way. Donny van de Beek, Bruno Fernandes, Christian Eriksen. All I can say is, if you play that midfield, we will score 5 or 6 goals against you, my friend. We will run
I
ragged.
I I can tell you one thing. Right now,
Mm,
all the defensive midfielders that we have
mm.
do not even seem to be doing the job.
Yeah,
So
but I mean,
I can tell
we
you.
will run through that midfield, bro. Because every one of those midfielders you said is an attacking midfielder who will
But
just vacate
Donny,
space in the middle and
Donny,
leave everything
but
empty for us.
Donny has showed that he can actually stay at the back. He can. You know,
He's not.
so
I
so
mean,
so
if that's your hope, you've got no hope, lah, bro. Anyway, let's move on very quickly and talk about the game of the weekend. In my opinion, Chelsea Spurs.
yeah,
I think we
yeah,
have
I
to
like
talk
this game.
about this game. I don't know if you saw
I
the
like
game,
this game.
Ram. Did you catch the
Yes, I
game?
did. I saw the game. Yes,
This
I
was
saw
an
it.
outstanding game of football. I thought it had everything. That's what I liked about it. Uh,
Oh, oh.
Obviously, it had a last second equalizer by Harry Kane from a corner. But apart from that, a lot of drama, some good goals in there as well.
Interesting
Uh,
handshake, I must say.
I was going to say, talk about not just the handshake, man. The flare up they had in the middle of the game when Tottenham
There was a
equalized for the
foul,
first
Tottenham
time.
equalized.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I know.
yeah.
And when Højbjerg scored, it should have been a foul or it could have been offside for Richarlison. And then Antonio Conte celebrated in Tuchel's face. He got pissed off. And then Chelsea took the lead again through Reece James. And then Tuchel ran past Antonio Conte and celebrated wildly. And then obviously the Spurs equalized in stoppage time, and then they had a very interesting handshake. Tuchel said Conte didn't look at him in the eyes, and he basically just dragged his hand and tried to crush his hand, and then they got into a bit of a shoving
And both
match.
got
And
red
really,
card. Both got
yeah,
red card.
both got red carded. A bit of a childish shoving match as well. So I mean, it had everything. This game had absolutely everything.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, let's start
But
off with
I
the.
was hoping for a winner actually. I was hoping for one team to take that win. No, it was so good that I wanted to see some late like drama, like even though Kane scored the equalizer and just one more bit of another chance for a team to score. That would have topped it
I
off.
was
Yeah.
happy with the draw. I got to be honest, because if not, these teams have just pulled away from Liverpool as well. So I was happy
Yeah.
with the draw. But I mean, let's start. Koulibaly, brilliant goal. What a
Ooh.
volley, man! Koulibaly corner. He's not known for that. He's a defender. He volleyed in that corner brilliantly. I thought he was brilliant, Koulibaly, and I thought I actually think he's an outstanding. I thought the two players for me that stood out for Chelsea, actually, apart from a few others, were Koulibaly and Marc Cucurella, who's also a new
Yeah,
sign. I
yeah.
thought he was brilliant as well. Both of them were outside. I think both terrific buys. Raheem Sterling had a good game. All in all, I thought Chelsea were by far the better team.
Oh, of
Across
course. They
90
were.
minutes, they were by far the better. I'm shocked it was a draw. It should have been a Chelsea win. They should have won by 3 or 4 goals if they had a proper striker. And I think
Yeah.
because they've got rid of Werner and Lukaku, they don't have a striker, a proper number 9 who can get them goals, which is why they ended up drawing the game. But if not, I thought they were by far the better team. Spurs had a spell of maybe 10 or 15 minutes, but if not, it was all Chelsea, man. And then, of course, after Koulibaly's goal, Højbjerg equalized. What did you think about that Højbjerg goal, man? Was it a foul, firstly, on Havertz?
Yeah, it was a foul. It was very evident it was a clear foul. He didn't really touch the ball. He basically took the player more. But then again, it was a good flowing football. So I'm not going to comment too much about that. But I can see that the manager was really really upset. But very very good drama, as you said. I like
So
that.
what was the bigger issue, do you think? Was it the foul or the offside? When Højbjerg took a shot and it almost touched Richarlison's ankle and he was in an offside position.
But if it touched him, yeah, he would have been offside. So it
No,
didn't touch him.
I
So
actually think that was a bigger issue because, I mean, the foul, I mean, people say it was a foul. Yes, he got a lot of the play. He touched a little bit of the ball. So maybe you can excuse that or whatever you can say. But
yeah, but the question is, why was VAR just like it looked like as if VAR disappeared in that game? There was no analysis. There was no, you know what I mean? Like there was literally no showing of what's happening on VAR. It just like I felt it just disappeared. So it was kind of weird for me. But
no,
yeah, there you go.
I mean, like I said, I thought there were two there, right? I thought it could have been a foul, but I thought, okay, fair enough. Maybe he touched a little bit of the ball. But I thought that Richarlison one was blatant because he was in an offside position by far, and he was in line of sight of the goalkeeper. He's literally almost touched his ankle, the ball. So for me, that's clear offside. You're interfering with play, even though you're not moving to the ball. You're that close to the ball. You're interfering with play. You're in the line you're in the line of sight of the goalkeeper. So in my opinion, that's offside, and you should be given offside.
But maybe now the interpretation of offside is different. I don't know.
They keep changing it, so I don't know, man. They keep changing it. But in my opinion, interpretation or not, I thought that was offside, man, and the goal shouldn't have.
But I will not take anything away from Højbjerg. I thought it was a good strike. I thought it was a good goal, good equalizer.
Yeah, I mean, Eugene, I agree, man. You were being spanked, but you got away with the draw, and I mean that's Antonio Conte, right? Defends and then waits for an opportunity to hit in the break. And I think what Antonio Conte has got now is he's got a strong bench, which made a difference, right?
I
He
was surprised he didn't start with his new signings. I was surprised that he did not start
No,
with
but he
some of
brought
his new
them on
signings.
and they made a difference, right? He brought on Richarlison, he brought on Perisic, he brought on Bissouma, and I thought they all contributed in the change of shape that Spurs did as well. I think they went 4-4-2, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, I mean, it worked. They had a spell in between, but again, Chelsea came up on top. I mean, Chelsea should have won this comfortably. Don't get me wrong. But yeah, Spurs, they've got a strong bench. And of course, they've got a tough manager mentality wise. He's got them tough. So they can always seem to fight back now. But yeah, Chelsea should have won this. So that's the first contention decision. Then the second one, 4-2-4. That's what Eugene said. So they went actually 4-2-4. Interesting. The second one. Now, if Darwin Nunez, I know he head butted the guy, but I mean, for God's sake, man, who was it who pulled the hair of? Was it Romero who pulled the hair of Marco Corella or something from
Oh
the
yeah, yeah,
corner?
yeah. The corner. Yeah, 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 yeah,
I
yeah.
mean,
Absolutely. Yep.
he literally pulled his hair.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
For me that's a red card as well. You can't do that on the pitch. You just can't do something like that on the
It's
pitch.
like a wrestling match. You're like, oh,
Yeah, so
it's
for
crazy.
me that was also a contentious one. And then because I mean not there was not a goal directly from it, so you can't do anything. But for me, it was a red card offense. You can't just pull someone by the hair and throw them onto the floor. So I mean, I don't know. Again, I thought it was a bit of a tricky one. But let's skip that part, Ram. What about the manager situation, man? What were these guys playing at?
Were you talking about the aftermath of it all?
Yes, the
Yeah.
argument in the middle, the aftermath of it all. What was going
Well,
on, man?
to be honest, I think well, in my opinion, I think Conte was just trying to celebrate that his team scored an equalizer. He couldn't contain himself. He was just doing what he was doing, right? And then Tuchel couldn't handle it because of he thought it was an offside or he thought it was a foul. He just couldn't handle it, and he just went for Conte up front itself. And I think these managers, when you look at them, I think they are very hot-headed managers, and they show that they will not accept defeat no matter what. Both of them,
That's what I was going to say. I
you
actually
know.
liked it. It was so nice, so
I
refreshing
loved
to
it.
see a game
I
like
was
that.
so
Because so
yeah.
refreshing to see a match like this where there was passion. It was
There's
passion,
lots
right?
of passion. Yeah, yeah,
They're
yeah,
both
yeah,
so passionate. They both can't lose, don't like to lose. They both want to win, and it was so
yeah.
good to see that passion, man. It kind of, I mean, it went overboard maybe, but it was fantastic to see.
But it was
Uh,
it was
but
also fun to see the comments that the press were going to them and asking them questions. Also, what happened, and they were like, no, it's between me and him.
I thought Thomas Tuchel's interview was
Yeah,
outstanding,
yeah,
man.
it was
I thought
outstanding.
Thomas
Yeah, yeah,
Tuchel
yeah.
was brilliant. He was just laughing it off. Hey, listen, it happens. It happened
It
between us.
happened.
I thought he was brilliant, man. Thomas Tuchel. So
But Conte, I like Conte's one where he's like, I want to talk about the football. I
yeah,
want to talk about the football.
yeah, he's a bit more serious. Whereas Thomas Tuchel
Yeah, 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 yeah.
was a bit more of had a
Uh,
bit more of a humorous side to it. So
humor side to it.
uh,
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, listen, great to watch. But as if you're a Chelsea fan or a Spurs fan, I mean, I want Eugene to tell us what he thinks as well. And guys who are watching the show, please hit the like button. Please subscribe to the channel. We need the support, and every like matters. So please like the video as well, and do subscribe to the channel as we come up with more videos along the way. But Eugene, give me a thought as well on this. But I mean, as much as it's good to see managers having passion like that, he's red carded. He's not going to be on the bench for 3 games, I think, now because a straight red
Three
card.
games.
And
Yeah.
Antonio Conte is actually a very important person for the bench. He makes a big difference for any team he manages because he's passionate. Yeah, he coaches the team across the entire game. So, do you think that's going to be a big loss, actually, not having Conte on the bench for you guys for 3 matches on the bounce?
Harry, I think
Uh,
even for Chelsea, Tuchel is very, very equally important. Having him on that, Conte got to Tuchel driving at the moment. Okay, drive safe.
yeah, drive.
Eugene.
Drive safe,
Yeah,
Eugene. But yeah, I mean, do let us know in in the comments as well, Eugene, because that's interesting, right? Because I think I mean, it may have been fun for us all to watch, but I think they could end up regretting that decision of going at each other because, I mean,
you
losing a
know,
manager as passionate as them for 3 matches, for example, I think makes a big difference. They're coaches.
I
They're
think
literally coaches. Yep.
I think Harry, to be honest, I think it's all in the light of the upcoming boxing match between Anthony Johnson and Usyk. I think both of them are big fans, so I think they wanted to show the preview of the boxing match on the field. So I don't know. That is just me having a go at both of them. So yeah.
Yeah, I know. Anyways, great game of football, great advertisement for the Premier League. I thought it was outstanding, and in my opinion, both teams actually are title contenders this time around. I'm going to say this: I think Chelsea and Spurs
That's
are
a
both going
very
to be
bold
contenders.
statement, Harry.
No, I
That's
think
a
they're
very
both
bold
title
statement.
contenders this time around. And so is
Really, but
another team. And so is another team. I'm going to add another team to this mix who I think are title contenders, and people should stop taking them lightly. I've been saying this from last season, if you remember. I said it all the time. I thought they were building something special. I think this Arsenal
Arsenal,
side is the real deal now.
yeah,
They're probably one of the youngest squads, but the most talented young squads in the Premier League. So they've got many years together potentially. Uh, they've got depth in the squad now. I mean, if I look at that back line, man, they've got Ben White.
Saliba,
They've got and on at left back they've got Zinchenko and Tierney as backup, both outstanding left backs. Zinchenko had a marvelous game. He was outstanding against Leicester, man. He kept coming into midfield like he plays for like he used to play for Man City. I think the central defensive partnership
Saliba,
they have is one of the best in the league, man. Gabriel and Saliba are outstanding.
yeah.
Saliba is a real find. He's brilliant. Uh, and then in midfield, I mean, I think that's where they're a bit light. They've got Thomas Partey and Xhaka, which is brilliant. But Partey tends
Thomas
to be.
Thomas Partey, yeah, he doesn't seem to impress me a lot. Like
I mean,
compared
he's
to
good,
last
but
season.
he's very injury prone. So I think that's the thing. If he
Yeah,
picks up injuries, then they could be hampered by that. I think Martin Odegaard is outstanding.
oh, he
Uh,
is, he
I think
is.
he's brilliant. He's the new captain, and he's a brilliant captain, I think. And then the front line is so young, dynamic, full of energy. They hunt in packs. They chase you down. They pressure you. I mean, Gabriel Martinelli is brilliant on the left. Bukayo Saka is great on the right. And then you've got Gabriel Jesus, man. The two goals is the
What a
first goal
good
he scored.
signing!
Oh
What
my
a good
God.
signing, man.
What a signing, man. The first goal he scored was brilliant.
The chip,
The,
right? The was it? Was
uh,
it? Was it?
no, the dink that
The
he
thing,
had.
yeah. The thing, yeah.
And then
That
the
was
second one was a header. And then he should have had a hat trick. The keeper made a couple of saves from him where he should have scored as well. So, I mean, Jesus, brilliant signing. Martinelli, great. They've got Emil Smith Rowe on the bench. They've still got Fabio Vieira as well. They're a great squad, talented unit. I think the only thing I can think of, man, is if they lose Gabriel Jesus. If by some reason Jesus gets injured, or if he's overplayed at the World Cup or something like that, because he plays for Brazil, he might go far. Then they could be impacted by that, I think, because they're quite reliant on him. I think he's a brilliant attacker, but I think they're
But
quite
I see,
reliant on
I
him.
see Arsenal. I see Arsenal actually signing a new player in this window before it ends. I think they might get a striker as well. So you never know until 31st of August. So if
Yeah,
they
you just
can
never know.
find someone,
I think they are trying to sign another winger or striker. So,
yeah,
and if they do, man, they already look like a great side, but they'll be a fantastic side. They score goals for fun, as you can see. They're a very attacking side. They press well. Zinchenko has fitted in like a glove because they want to play the Man City way.
yeah.
Jesus the same because they play the same as Man City. So really good side, man. Very impressed by Arsenal, and yeah, I think they could have a storming. And I'm going to put them for the time being as a title contender because I look at them quality side. The one thing I'll say is they also look a little bit vulnerable at times at the back. I mean, they conceded
Yeah,
two
they do.
against Leicester, could have conceded one more as well potentially. So that's the only thing. But overall, they look a really good side, man. So yeah, keep mark my words, guys. Arsenal could be a real threat. Uh, and now, as we move on from Arsenal, we'll end this with the Monday night game. The Monday night game, Liverpool won, Crystal Palace won at Anfield. Our first game at Anfield for the season ended in a 1-1 draw. Uh, Ram,
Harry,
yes.
since you are Liverpool fan, I'm going to ask you a few questions. Okay.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised as well. Yep.
Yeah. What
And
what actually what actually is happening to Liverpool? Because they look like they started really well. They played really well throughout the entire game. They were
mm,
dominating from left to right. They were unstoppable, and it looked like they were going to score 4 to 5 goals. To be honest,
mm.
okay. But what happened?
I
Tell
mean,
me, tell us.
it's very easy, right? So I'll tell you what happened here. I mean, I've been crying out for a midfielder for a very long time for Liverpool. I think it's one area of the field where we need to freshen up. We've got quite a lot of old players in midfield, uh, and we have a lot of injury-prone players as well. So we've got old players, injury-prone players, and then we have extremely young players in midfield. So we don't have the right age midfielders who have got the energy. So I think we're lacking a bit of energy and legs in midfield. And the people who do have it are either aging, like Milner and Henderson, or they're injured half the time, like Thiago and Naby Keita and Oxlade-Chamberlain. So that is our biggest issue, in my opinion. But coming to yesterday's game, I mean, one thing I've got to reiterate, I'm not looking for an excuse here, but I've got to point this out. We had we had 9 players out yesterday.
Yeah.
We had 9 injured players yesterday. Ram, right, 9 first-team players injured, and along with that, we had another 2 players who were not fit enough to start. They were forced to basically play because they to sit on the bench because they could play only 30 minutes. And they came on as substitute, which was Joe Gomez and Jordan Henderson. But apart from that, we had 9 players out. I'm going to name the nine to you as well. Ibrahima Konate, one of the best centre-backs in the world. Joel Matip, another centre-back. Kelleher, who's our backup second-choice goalkeeper. Calvin Ramsey, who's our new right-back signing. In midfield, Thiago Alcantara. Curtis Jones, who's brilliant. Oxlade-Chamberlain is out as well. And then up top, Diogo Jota, who scored 20 goals last year, 2021 goals last year. He's a goal scorer. And Bobby Firmino was out as well. So that's a lot of players, man. I don't see any club that can cope with 9 first-team players out.
You see, that's the thing. I got to say something, right? I mean, in contrasting difference with United or other teams or whatever it is, you have 9 injured players, but the system was still the same. The football was still the same.
And you see, I mean, that's
Harvey Elliott was amazing in that game. You know, I thought he was brilliant. He was laying the passes, and of course, Trent was really good yesterday as well. You know, creating lots of chances. But I was expecting, to be honest, you know, people like Mo Salah, you know, and of course Nunez, who started, to have a bit more, just to have a bit more zest in front of goal, which I felt that was completely missing.
No,
because you look at Salah, he's someone who creates chances, you know, for fun. So
I'm gonna say something here. I thought actually yesterday we had a very good game. I thought we played on the whole, apart from maybe a 15-20 minute spell. But on the whole, I was quite impressed with the way we played yesterday. I thought we started really well. We created chances. We didn't take our chances. The play was quick. It was fast. It was dominant. We kept the ball. We didn't let Crystal Palace get out. And yeah, you were right, man. I thought Harvey Elliott was a standout player for us in that first half and the second half to a large degree as well. But I think what happened was, if you don't score early, and I've got to give credit here to Patrick Vieira and Crystal Palace. I think they're a really good side, by the way. I think if Palace plays United any game, they beat them. I'll be honest. I think they're a really good side. Really good side. They keep the ball well generally. But against Liverpool yesterday, they decided to change their plan. Patrick Vieira decided to just play deep, keep a very deep block. He played 5-4-1. Everyone just sat back defensive. They crowded the box, didn't allow chances. They were blocking shots because they had so many bodies in the box. And then they had Zaha up front. So what they did was they waited for the right opportunity, and it came. They had that one chance, a through ball to Zaha, and then the finish was outstanding by Zaha. It was a brilliant finish, I've got to say. So, and then they were once the team is 1-0 up, and then they are playing so deep and defending with so many bodies in the box, it's the hardest thing to break that down. So I've got to give credit firstly to Crystal Palace and Patrick Vieira. I thought they got the game plan spot on. They executed it brilliantly. Now coming to Liverpool and talking about a certain Darwin Nunez. So Darwin Nunez got red carded, and it was a right red card. He deserved to get sent off. He headbutted Anderson, and basically he was baited into it. Right now, in my opinion, like I said, I think this is good for Darwin Nunez because coming early in the season, hopefully this is the steep learning curve that he needs. That the Premier League is not the Portuguese league, it's not the Dutch league. The centre backs here are very physical. They're going to rough you up. They're going to bully you, and you've got to stand up to it. They're going to try to get you sent off, but you've got to keep your cool and composure. And I think that's what he didn't have yesterday. I mean, at the same time, it was, like I said, a silly thing, an idiotic thing for him to do because he put the team in trouble. He cost his side. He let his teammates down. He let the fans down, exactly. But I'm going to let him off because he's a young guy. He's 23 years old. He's in the new league. It's his debut at Anfield, man. You know what that is like? Debut at Anfield. He's so hungry to try and impress. It was almost as if he was trying too hard yesterday.
And he almost scored.
No, that's the thing. He was fluffing a lot of shots, easy shots, because he seemed like he was trying too hard. He was overthinking. instead of just going for the instinctive finish, he was overthinking. He was fluffing his shots. I think he was trying too hard yesterday to impress. And it's just a young guy. It's a young guy who's trying to make an impression on his Anfield debut. And it kind of backfired because he lost his head. But like I said, I think it's good it happened now because Klopp will talk to him. He's learned the hard way, and it's hopefully now not going to happen again. Jurgen Klopp came out after the game as well and said, listen, stupid thing, stupid reaction. I'm going to talk to him, but we are going to use the next 3 weeks because he's suspended for 3 games now, 3 or 4 games. We're going to use the weeks now as a second preseason where we're going to toughen him up. We're going to put him through a lot of physical work and toughen the guy up because I think that's what he needs. He needs to toughen up to be able to deal with these defenders who are going to try and push him and bully him about. So, yeah, I mean, it could turn out to be brilliant because he's going to get some time out of the limelight, out of the team, getting some extra training in. And then he comes back, he'll probably be on the bench, but he'll be out of the limelight for a while. And I think for a new signing, young signing, big money signing, that's what he needs because he was kind of, I think he's just been too hungry to impress, and which is what caused that hot-headed reaction.
But that's a good point. I mean, I do agree. Sometimes new signings require some time off the pitch to get some much needed, care and, focus on other things that are more important.
No,
But
I think
almost,
he just needs to be just taken out of the limelight a little bit, slowly eased in.
yeah.
Let the focus be on Haaland and all the other players in the league,
But
and then he will come in without that pressure, I think.
But what I was impressed with was when he was sent off, almost immediately, Ruben Diaz scored that equalizing goal.
Oh, not Ruben Diaz, by the way, Luis Diaz.
Sorry, Luis Diaz, not Ruben Diaz. Sorry,
I was
Luis
just about
Diaz.
to get to that, Ram. So I mean, you're spot on. So Darwin Nunez, like I said, there are good things about him. I've got to say, I mean, even though his touch and technique was a bit off yesterday, he was fluffing his shot. I think I'm going to put that down to just nerves. First game at Anfield, nerves. He wanted to impress. He was trying too hard. So I'm going to let him off there. But his movement was good. I thought his movement was very good. He was getting into scoring opportunity, which is a good sign. He's going to get chances. And hopefully next time he's more composed and he'll finish. Now, I'm going to end this by saying Lucho or Luis Diaz is an outstanding player. This guy is my pick. I'm going to say this now, guys. I'm putting my neck at the line. My pick for player of the season is Luis Diaz. I mean, the guy is phenomenal. After the red card, he was playing like he was playing for 2 or 3 people. He was running around. He was hunting down. He was winning the ball back in the middle of the field. He was dribbling past 3 or 4 players. He was playing on the left, sometimes in the center, sometimes you see him on the right. He was playing like he was possessed, like he basically was taking the role of 2 or 3 players. And the goal he scored, Ram, that's early goal of the season contender, man.
Yeah, that was a really good goal.
He dribbled past 3 or 4 players and then to just strike the ball. 4 or 5 players in the way, and then to strike the ball the way he did from outside the box into the bottom corner, no chance for the keeper. I mean, that was a worldy goal, outstanding goal. And Luis Diaz was my man of the match after that, man. He was brilliant. And I'm just looking forward to seeing more of this guy. And hopefully he continues to add more goals to his game. But, skills, desire, hunger, work rate. The guy's work rate, man. The way he tracks, wins the ball back, goes for it. He's the true definition of a Klopp team and a Klopp player, man. So, I mean, and hopefully once Nunez gets up to speed, I mean, that combination could be really interesting. Luis Diaz, Nunez, and Salah, because they're all look like they've got potential.
So what was Mane, Firmino, and Salah? Now it's going to be Salah, Nunez, and Diaz.
Yeah, I mean, hope so. But I mean, don't rule out Jota, who's brilliant. By the way, he's going to come back. Jota, Bobby Firmino is still there, so they'll all have a part to play. But I mean, yeah, listen, a poor result. We dropped 2 points. It's 2 draws on the bounce. And when you're challenging Man City in the league, a draw feels like a defeat. We're already 4 points behind them. But I mean, listen, at least we didn't lose. We were down to 10 men and losing 1-0. Very easy for a team to lose then. But we still, with 10 men, came back and drew the game and should have won the game. Salah had a shot that just went slightly wide at the end. Carvalho shot went slightly wide at the end. So, I mean, with 10 men, we were dominating them as well and looked the more dangerous. So, I mean, that's a good sign. And then only thing I can look forward to now is hopefully we get players back. We get Joel Matip back. We get Bobby Firmino, hopefully comes back for United. and we need to start getting some. We need to start getting some players back, man. Curtis Jones, whoever, because the injuries are killing us, man. And I'm more concerned about the injuries. The injuries are killing us. We need to get some players back.
So very quickly, Harry, since you're talking about the next game, who do you think would be your first 11, uh, given if your choice of players are not injured? Go ahead.
I mean, for us, it's easy because we've got too many injuries, right? So I'm going to go with Allison. Right back, of course, Trent. And centre back, it's Van Dijk, and it's going to be Gomez, I think, because I think Matip is still going to be injured and Konate is injured long term. So I think it will be Van Dijk and Gomez. On the left, you know what? I'm going to make maybe a controversial this thing here, because I think Robertson has been a bit off form recently. So I'm going to go with Kostas Tsimikas, because I really like Kostas Tsimikas. He came on, and I was very busy yesterday as well.
But
But
yesterday
I
he
think,
wasn't making those crosses. He wasn't making those.
I mean, the crosses were a bit off, but he was coming back from an injury as well. But he was showing a lot of energy, and I think Robertson seems a bit tired. He seems a bit off form. So I would play Tsimikas from the start. In midfield, Fabinho has been horrible, actually. But I mean, in a game against United, I'll probably still start Fabinho. So I'll probably go Fabinho. This is tricky, man. You know what? I'm not going to go Fabinho. Fabinho has been off form for too long. I'm keeping Fabinho off. I'm going to go with Jordan Henderson. Harvey Elliott deserves to start again. So Jordan Henderson, Harvey Elliott, Naby Keita, because he had a brilliant game against United at Old Trafford last year. So Jordan Henderson in the center, Harvey Elliott on the right, Naby Keita on the left. And then up top, again, we've got too many injuries, so it's very clear it's going to be Luis Diaz, Mo Salah, and I think Bobby Firmino comes back in for this game as well. That's the starting lineup I'll go with. Let's see what Simba went with. Simba has gone with, Becker, Van Dijk, Gomez, Trent. He's gone with Robbo, Fab. He's gone with Fabinho, Henderson, Harvey, Salah, Diaz, and Bobby. I mean, like I said, I didn't want to go with Fabinho. I think he's a bit off form. I'd go with Henderson in the middle. And also, if Harvey Elliott and Henderson plays, Harvey plays in the right, then Henderson has to play on the left. Whenever he plays in the left of midfield, he doesn't do a good job. It's not really his position. So I'd probably go Henderson, Harvey Elliott, and Naby Keita, because I think Keita needs to be brought back into this side. So that's our team, guys, and that's our wrap up. We will talk a little bit more about the Man U Liverpool game in the days to come. But yeah, Ram, great second week of the Premier League.
Great, not so great, not so great. But if you talk about all the other teams, maybe it's great, good, surprising results. Looking forward to the next one. It's going to be some mouth-watering clashes. So stay tuned, because we will bring you all the reviews, the previews, and of course, we do have some guests going to be lined up coming on the shows as well. So do keep yourselves free. Stay tuned. Keep the comments coming. Keep subscribing to our channels. And of course, we want to do better this season as well.
And before you sign off, Ram, let me just quickly say, guys, again, please, guys watching, please hit the like button. We need the likes. Do subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell notification as well, so you get notified when we come on in the future. And yeah, I'll pass it on to you, Ram, to sign off.
Yes, signing off from the Plot Malaysia. Thank you for joining us. This is the show for the fans.
By the fans. Ciao, guys. Ciao, Ram.
Ciao.